Hello, everyone. My name is David Gilroy. My group topic is food microbiology. And what I'm researching here specifically is the efficiency of using hard liquor as a disinfectant. And what really inspired me to research this topic is because I love sci fi movies. And a lot of times when a character gets injured, they go for the closest bottle of vodka, open it up, pour it on their wound, say that it's disinfected, and go on with whatever sci-fi stuff that they're doing. But I wanted to check a little facts on that and see if that is, as accurate as depicted in the movies. So from there, I would like to get started. Can hard alcoholic beverages be as effective as typical rubbing alcohol to use as a disinfectant? Well, first we have to differentiate between types of alcohol. The types of alcohol in healthcare, according to the CDC, are ethyl alcohol or ethanol, and then isopropyl as well. And both of these actually tend to react in similar ways, but they have slightly different chemical compounds. But I want to note out that the key difference is that ethanol has a linear model structure, where isopropyl is a branched structure, which allows us to, drink ethanol and once it's diluted and not get super, super sick. And I also want to point out that both of these alcohols are used in everyday life. Isopropyl, it can be used in many household uses. It can be used in antifreeze, typical household cleaners that you'd be able to find around your house, disinfectant and hand sanitizers, and even more. Ethanol is found in alcoholic beverages. That's what we tend to drink. But it can also be denatured to use as a fuel additive, topical antiseptic, or other disinfectants. And what I mean by denatured is that they add other properties in it that discourage people from drinking that sort of alcohol. But it can be used very in the same way as isopropyl. A lot of times they're interchangeable. Rubbing alcohol can be ethanol or isopropyl, which is actually very fascinating. But that begs the question, how does alcohol kill germs? Well, it kills these germs through a process called denaturation. And with this denaturation, the alcohol molecules bond with the fat membrane that is surrounding either the virus, the bacteria, or the fungi. And then after that, the membrane is actually broken down where it dissolves, and then the cell is exposed, and then the cell from there actually dies. So, liquor and rubbing alcohol. Um, Using ethanol as an example, because it can be used for both. Although ethyl alcohol is used in beverages and disinfectants, the alcohol content is very, very different. When you look at the rubbing alcohol, it's typically around 70%. But when we drink hard alcohol, like vodka or gin, things like that, it's usually around 40%. And I know you look at a bottle of alcohol and you see like 80 proof, that must mean 80%. That is proof, not percentage. For proof, you divide it in half, and then that gives you your alcohol percentage. So as you can see here, um, hard alcohol that we drink is much lower than the rubbing alcohol that we can buy over the counter that's used as um, typical disinfectants. So can this alcohol percentage kill microbes? Um, Alcohol does successfully kill most gram positive and gram negative cells, fungi, and it can also kill many bacteria, or sorry, many viruses. along with other bacteria. But alcohol is not effective against certain fungal and bacterial spores, and as well as some viruses. In order to most successfully kill viruses, bacteria, or fungi, the required concentration is typically between 60% and 90%. And that's usually the ethyl rubbing alcohol that you would buy over the counter. They would suggest between 60 and 90 percent. So now I'd like to direct your attention to this graph. If you look at the key on the right, there's a list of the first there's a list of microbes. The first four microbes are bacteria, and the last two are fungi. And then on the bottom, it's the alcohol content. And then if you look on the left, it's the inhibition zone, which allows it to grow or not grow. So when you look over at the 90% and the 100% side, it is a lot higher, which means that it's a lot more effective against these particular bacteria and fungi. But when you move further and further to the left, you see that it becomes less and less effective. And I think I will be referring to this back a little bit later, but let me go on to the next slide for a sec. The alcohol we drink is ethyl alcohol, which is used as disinfectant and rubbing alcohol. But what the key takeaway here is the alcohol percentage, which is much higher in disinfectants than in liquor, because the liquor is diluted down to about 40%, and on average, rubbing alcohol is used at about 70%. I believe I said 60 to 90%. And then as you can see back at this graph, it doesn't even show 40%. So it wouldn't do nearly as much good as the 70 to 90 or 60 to 90 range that is shown in this graph. And so because of this, hard alcohol like gin or vodka will not be as effective as over-the-counter rubbing alcohol. And like I said, it's because of its percentage. So if you are going to use alcohol as a disinfectant, try Everclear, maybe moonshine. I'm a fan of Everclear myself. Lastly, I just wanted to put up a page of references. I do need to give a shout out to my favorite reference by Polly Parks, her interactive guide to microbiology. This work brought me to tears, and it was tears of joy, no doubt. But there's a lot of jam-packed information within all of these slides, and I really hope that you guys were able to learn something from the presentation that I gave you. Thank you very much for listening, and have a good day.